Good morning and thank you for joining us. In case you're just tuning in, you're well in time for our top stories, and we're starting now with Uganda. The Ugandan government is carrying out a fresh payroll audit to determine the exact number of civil servants it employs and to find out exactly how much it should be paying in salaries. The audit being carried out by the Auditor General comes after many district and government agencies reported wage shortfalls this financial year, forcing many workers to miss salaries for months.
Well, it comes after an earlier audit had revealed that billions of shillings have been lost in questionable salary payments. Uganda's Public Service Minister Wilson Muruli Mukasa says the Ministry of Finance has undertaken an audit of this exercise and is scrutinizing the payroll so that they can get accurate figures of people on the payroll. The exercise is meant to be completed before the financial year closes in June. Well, joining us now is Ugandan journalist from Midwest Uganda, Hoima to be precise. Leila, thank you so much for being here. Leila, I hope you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go straight into this. Why the audit all of a sudden, and why is this imperative? Let's put it that way.
Yes, basically, government wants to find out how much money does it spend. It found out that 19 billion shillings had been lost in 129 local governments to ghost workers and people who were overpaid, while others were not paid actually the amount they were supposed to be paid. Some were given least amounts of salary. So a 19 billion shillings loss of taxpayers' money means quite a lot to the Ugandan government. And when you look at where we get our funds as the government, most of this is borrowed money. And so Parliament is even tired of supplementary budgets that are coming in. Last week, the Ministry of Local Government tabled in a supplementary budget request of 401 billion shillings to ensure that it clears the wage bill for some of the civil servants that are not being given their salaries. Last year, we will all get to know that a number of public servants, especially the teachers, were complaining that they had missed out salary for several months. So now the Auditor General comes up and says, no, it is time for the government to really conduct a fresh payroll audit to get to know how much money does it spend on salaries of public servants across the country and how many people are they really paying. Because you find that even people who passed on as public servants, their accounts are still getting salary. Even those who were recruited in a manner that is really not clear are getting salaries. Some of even the officials get higher salaries than what they are supposed to get. So that is why the Auditor General now wants to come up and make this fresh payroll audit.
Leila, this is not the first time we're hearing about this. Like you mentioned, there had been a reported case of 19 billion shillings lost in sketchy and suspicious salary payments. Let's talk about the investigation. Were there any investigations carried out the previous time? And has anyone or any group of people been pinpointed as being held accountable for this? Has anybody been made to be held accountable for this? And has any punishment been meted out as a result?
No. It has actually not happened in the past that anyone has been held liable for these mistakes. Audits are being carried out and reports are coming out. And they are tabled even before Parliament, even before the President, and all these officials get to know about what is happening. But surprisingly, nothing is being done. But we are all watching and seeing what is going to happen this time when a fresh audit is conducted. Because the Inspectorate of Government, the IGG, recently came up and said that almost 50% of public servants in Uganda, the way they were recruited is really needs a lot of investigations because most of them are not qualified. Most of them are relatives to officials in the Public Service Commission, from the District Service Commissions and all that. So some of these issues have been there and, reports are tabled and surprisingly nothing is being done. But this time we hope when the Auditor General comes up and says, yes, let's do this audit. And Parliament this time is trying to be a little bit strict, as well as the president, when it comes to corruption and the loss of taxpayers' money. So we will give them a benefit of doubt and wait and see what is exactly going to happen. But previously, even though these audits have been carried out, we've not seen the results of anyone being held liable or accountable to the loss of taxpayers' money.
All right, now we haven't seen this happen before, but are there any hopes or expectations that with, like you said here, 19 billion shillings lost in about 129 local governments? We also found that the Auditor General found 609 secondary school and tertiary institution employees under the Education Service Commission who used forged minutes to access the government payroll. Now, that is something that has been found. More reports and more investigations still being carried out. Are there hopes that when this investigation is carried out and concluded, that a report will be published and that some people will be made to, to be held accountable? Because this is taxpayers' money that is being used wrongfully. This is a case of fraud, So are there people that will be made to be held accountable for this?
Yes, I'm sure this time people will be made accountable, held accountable for this. I'll give an example. In one of the districts called Kagadi in the Midwestern region, there were a recruitment of public servants was conducted, and then a number of whistleblowers came up and said, no, the process wasn't straightforward, and there was a lot of fraud and bribery, corruption, the buying of jobs within. So the first minister for public service, as well as the third minister for local government, Victoria Rusoke, came up and conducted an investigation. Then they had to display all the names of officials who had been recruited, especially the parish chiefs, who never met the criteria that was needed. And so they even forced the district local government to re-advertise. So it gives hope when such an example is there that probably even this time those who accessed the payroll with forged minutes will be held liable, and they are going to be scrapped off the government payroll. So it gives us some little bit of hope as Ugandans.
I want to say thank you so much, Leila, for joining us and giving us a detailed analysis, most importantly sharing with us what Uganda is doing. We hope that we'll get an update as soon as the audit is indeed carried out. Thank you.
You're welcome.